Mahadev, 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 Mahadev. Anishbhai, is this okay?
Give me 1 second, sir.
Yeah. Mahadev, Mahadev, Mahadev. Om. Om Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanshcha Prahinoti Tasmai Tamhadevamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahmavidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamshirishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahitaha Prajnanagana Pratyagartho Brahmaivahamasmi Brahmaivahamasmi. Vedantartha-vibhasakaya gurave Shantaya sannyasine Nanavadi nagendra sanghapavaye Yogindra vandyaya cha Mohatvanta divakaraya bhagavat padabhidham Bibhrate tasmai bhashkrite namostu satatam Purnaya bodhatmane. Om. So far, we have comprehended the fact that when it comes to jivan mukti, along with knowledge, manonasha and vasana kshaya becomes the sadhanam. So this sadhanam for jivan mukti is threefold. Tatvajnana manonasha vasana kshaya iti. And we have seen the definitions of the two. He now wants to show you that how manonasha and vasana kshaya are interdependent. And therefore, if a person chooses that I will practice only manonasha, which means I will practice only samadhi, but I will allow my senses and mind to run amok. The one who is going to say that meditation is going to be sufficient is wrong. Because for such a person, the jivan mukti is also not possible, nor is it possible that he can ever have meditation samadhi also as its result. And this is therefore important. You cannot choose one over the other. Over here, this is not a question of choice. All the three have to be present for the jivan mukti to take place. He further says, Tatra manonasha bhave वृत्तिषु उत्पद्यमानासु कदाचित् बाह्यनिमित्तेन क्रोधादि उत्पत्तेः नास्ति वासनाक्षयः. Now, how vasanakshaya? You understand the word vasana, you understand the word kshaya. Okay. When will you understand there is vasanakshaya? When the bahya nimitta, the external excuses, causes which trigger krodha, etc., krodha, kama, whatever it can be, now, depression, whatever you may say. Whatever are the external causes that trigger such kind of an emotional response from you, when it fails to trigger, it may be there, yet it no longer you respond in the old habitual pattern. This then is called as vasana kshaya, where you are not the victim of your unconscious mind. What can I do? The anger just comes. What can I do? It is just my response. No, you don't have to feel helpless. Just by creating another set of vasana, which is Shuddha Vasana, and it is called a Shuddha, pure, because this Vasana is Viveka Janya. It is born from Viveka, understanding, discrimination. Okay? So when this happens, and these vasanas, these samskaras, which are the result of Viveka, have become so strong that the old pattern naturally gets subdued to such a point that the old patterns lose their potency to generate the same kind of response which they have generated before. And when this happens, we say it is vasana kshaya. This vasana kshaya is dependent on manonasha. What is manonasha? When the antakaran modifies not as thought processes, not as thought forms, but the modification is an absence of thought forms. This is manonasha. So now he is going to show you in one line that when manonasha is not there, or if manonasha is not taking place, vasana kshaya will also not take place. And furthermore, when vasana kshaya is not taking place, manonasha also does not take place. Both the ways. And therefore, both of them are mutually dependent on each other. Therefore, it is not a choice. I practice meditation. The rest of the time, I will do whatever I want. No. You have to be alert all the time. Your spirituality is not a part-time job. Spirituality is not just weekends. It is every moment. Every moment one has to be very alert. It is a commitment. That's why it takes a lot of courage, energy. So he now says, Tatra manonasha bhave. If the manonasha is not taking place, obviously the mind is transforming into thought forms. What happens? Vritteshu utpadyamanasu. So now the vrittis are taking place. And if there is a bahya nimitta, there is an external factor which triggers, let us say, frustration, anger, irritation in you. Now, obviously, when the mind is already in the form of producing thoughts, and there is an external factor, it will be registered and it is bound to now create this same reaction from you, that of irritation, frustration, anger, whatever it may be. You see, there are both of them are extreme cases. People who say, don't tell women what kind of clothes to wear, tell your men. Because those who say that women should all the time remain covered from head to toe, shouldn't even show their eyes and face and hair and, you know, should remain covered totally, is because if men see women, they are naturally bound to have passion. So let them not see, let them stay covered. The other group says, no, you have nobody to tell what women should wear. Tell them not to get excited, tell them not to lose their control, which is true. But that also does not mean that there is you take the liberty so much that you wear anything anywhere. No, sir. There has to be moderation everywhere. Just as that is there, we are going to say bahya nimitta when is presented. Then such bahya nimitta, the external cause, is bound to create such a reaction. Why? Because the mind is already bubbling with thoughts. And therefore, vasanakshaya is not possible. When is vasanakshaya not possible? If the mind is in the process of creating thoughts, which means it is not in the state of manonasha. Then, akshinayam to vasanayam, and say, suppose if the vasana has not become dilapidated, weakened, then tathaeva mrityutpadanan nasti manonashah, then naturally the person will be overwhelmed by those patterns. And therefore, will it be possible now for this person to sit and meditate? I'm already angry. And tell an angry person, meditate, sir. He will become even more angry. So, when the vasanas have not become weak, meditation is not possible. Vasanas cannot become weak if the meditation is not in progress. That's why both of these are interdependent. And hence we have a choice over here with regards to I will practice only meditation, don't tell me anything else. Now we have to look at the definition of what is Tattva Jnana knowledge. Because all these three together simultaneously are the jivan mukti sadhana. Here it goes. Idam sarvam atma iva. प्रतीयमानं तु रूपरसादिकं जगन् मायामयं न तु एतद्वस्तुतोऽस्ति इति निश्चयः तत्त्वज्ञानम्. What is called as Tattvajnanam? It is Nishchaya. It is Nishchaya. It is in form. Don't take Nishchaya as a resolution. Don't understand Nishchaya as a resolution. In this context. Firm belief. No. Nishchaya over here is certainty of knowledge. Because I am wrapping this around my shoulders, you are going to say this is a cloth to be wrapped around the shoulders. If this cloth was laid on a table, you would have called it a tablecloth. If this cloth was to be used, cotton cloth, to wipe your body, you could have called it a towel. So, is there any certainty as what exactly is this? Is it tablecloth? Is it a cloth to wrap around your shoulders? Or is it a towel to wipe the body? What is it? There is no certainty about it. But there is one certain thing that it is cotton. Whether used as towel, tablecloth, or a cloth to cover the body, in all the three cases, the certainty is it is still cotton. Like that, you say anything about this world, nothing is certain. Only, and therefore, this certain knowledge with certainty. Certain knowledge means knowledge with certainty, firmness. This is the firmness of knowledge. Clear understanding, doubtless understanding is called as nishchaya. Now, whether even if this is put on shoulders or a table or anywhere else, it does not matter. One thing you know for sure that it is cotton. This knowledge cannot be denied, whatever may be the use of that cloth. This knowledge cannot be denied that it is cotton. Like that, the certainty of knowledge is called nishchaya. What nishchaya can be called as tattvajnanam? What form of nishchaya, now you get the word nishchaya, certainty of knowledge, can be called as knowledge of reality? What is real? Swamiji, the whole world, everything, this sofa sitting over here, this floor, this fans, the ceiling, everything seems to be real. Just release the screws from here and let every part be laid separately. Or will you call it sofa? Please sit, sir. This is sofa. Now, where has the sofa gone? You can no longer call it a sofa. And everything over here is thus functionally you can call it for your functional purpose. You can call it that it is sofa. But the moment it is disintegrated, it does not have the same status of you can call it sofa, house, bricks, whatever. This is the status of the world. Then what is real? What is real? So here he says, Idam sarvam atma eva. This entire world of all the names and forms is nothing but the self. You know, all the books of Vedanta, Gita, Brahma Sutra, Upanishad, is just spent on explaining this one line. All the advanced books, the primary books, the advanced books, the source, the Prakarana Granthas, Vada Granthas are just only on this, explaining how this entire world of all the names and forms is this Atma. That what you call as I, which at present you are assigning the value of body mind complex to this I, is that in which this entire world of names, forms, time, space, everything appears and disappears. That is what this Atma is. And therefore, this world does not have any existence apart from this Atma. There is no ornament, gold ornament, which has any separate existence other than the ornament. Can a clay pot have any existence other than the clay? You pull the clay out, and will the pot be sitting there? Where is the pot? The pot is no longer there. So also that which, and therefore now you are going to say that the clay is the reality of the pot. Why are you saying the pot is also real? Because you are able to transact with it. You are able to see the pot. You can fill the water in the pot. You can empty the pot. You can use it the way you want. Some transactions are possible with the pot. And therefore, you are going to say that the pot is real because I transact with it. I can see it, I can touch it, I can lift it, I can fill water in it, I can pour water out of it. And therefore, the pot is real. If the pot was not to be real, how would I touch it? How would I lift it? How would I use it? So, what is it that gives you the authority to say that this is real? Because I can transact with it. And therefore, you are going to say it is a reality because of transaction. It is a transactional reality. But say, suppose if we draw the mud, the clay out of that pot, can you see the pot? Can you lift the pot? Can you use the pot? No, nothing. Where is the pot? The transactional reality is lost. So, what gave the transactional reality also existence? The clay. And the clay, therefore, is that reality which makes even the transactional reality of the pot as real. So, the reality to the pot is yielded, given by the clay. What is the reality of the pot? Clay. Even before the pot was made, it was clay. As the pot is there, it is clay. And after the pot breaks, it is still clay. When the pot is there, can you deny that it is clay? Can you deny it is clay? So clay cannot be denied in any frame of time. But when the pot is not made and it is lump of clay, can you say it is pot? After the pot is destroyed, can you still say it is pot? And it is reduced to powder or it is reduced to lump again. Can you say it is a pot? No. So pot was a name given to the clay for some time. Pot is a name given to the clay for some time. But clay does not change by calling it a pot. Clay remains clay, nothing changes with the clay. And therefore, the clay is the very essence, the reality of the pot. So, also, that what you are calling, experiencing as I, aham, is the very essence of this world. What you have is not ordinary. That what you are sitting on is not ordinary. This is Brahmavastu, aham, from which this world comes and goes back. So therefore he says, idam sarvam atma eva. All that is there is this self. Idam sarvam atma eva. What are you saying? But this is not experienced as I. This is experienced as it is a sofa, this is the floor, this is a camera, that is the fan, so on and so forth. Nama rupatmakam jagat pratiyamanam. Now, whatever is experienced by you. And remember, just because something is experienced by you does not mean that it is real. Generally, what do you say? That it is real because I experience it. It is real because I experience it. And we are going to say just because it is experienced does not mean that it is real. Because you experience sunrise, you experience sunset. You are not experiencing the earth revolving around. You are experiencing the sun galloping over the earth. You are not experiencing earth moving around its axis. You are experiencing the sky, the space to be dome shaped. You are experiencing the space to be blue in color. But space is not dome shaped, nor is it blue in color. Just because something is experienced does not mean that it is real. Stop claiming that. Then, when you have understood this, now you can ask, when can any experience be called as real? Because not every experience can be called as experience of reality. Then when can experience be called as real? Because the person who sees the snake also is frightened because he says that it is real. I am experiencing the snake, it is real. And when the light is lit, inadequate light, when he sees, he says it is not. What gave you the authority to cancel your earlier experience to be an experience of that what is not real? You are experiencing this world. People sitting in front of you, you listening, the heat, the breeze of the fan, the hum of the air conditioner, everything is being experienced by you here now. So also you are experiencing similar things even in dream. Then when you wake up, you say the dream was unreal, but this is real. Both of these are your experiences. Then what makes you say that the earlier experience was not real? It is an experience, but that the content of that experience is not real. What gives you this authority? How are you able to say that this is real, that is not? You see? You don't have to go very far. Because even if you try to understand this through the example of snake and the rope, it will suffice. That's why I said this example of snake and the rope is such an example, and it's such a powerful example. Don't ask for any. Oh, Swamiji, please tell us some examples of husband and wife. Nonsense. Yeah. Husband and wife, what? What is there? Snake and rope. They're boring. Snake and rope, very good. Then what happens? In case of snake and rope, so the person comes into a room which is not adequately lit and sees the snake. And obviously, the reaction is that of fear. It trembles and, the sweat and screams, or maybe the mouth goes dry, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. He's petrified. When he switches the light on, it is a rope. Knowledge has taken place. The snake has disappeared, vanished. Along with that, even the bhayam, etc., also has gone away. Okay, now, example finished. Let us work to the principles that we have to understand. So, every day I'm not going to tell you this example, okay? When say snake and rope, you should understand. That is it. What happened in the earlier example, earlier experience, is that you said, I have seen the snake with my own eyes. I have seen the snake with my eyes. Then in the second thing you say, no, sir, I have seen it is a rope with my own eyes. So did your eyes report it was a snake? And in the second case, did your eyes report it is a rope? Here is the fault. Listen, because of inadequacy of light, the light was not properly, right? Dimly lit. It was insufficient light. Therefore, your eyes were not able to meet the object, what that object is. And therefore, the knowledge could not take place. When the knowledge does not take place, the ignorance of that object still remains. And this ignorance transforms itself as something else. Calling it snake is not knowledge. Calling it snake is still ignorance in different form. Is not it? Because it is an object, it is a rope. If your knowledge if matches the object, then you can say it is knowledge. Or if your experience matches If your understanding matches that object, you say that your understanding is knowledge. You see, it is a rope, you understand it as snake, and there is a disparity. It is a rope, and you understand it as a rope, this is knowledge. This is a rope, but you are calling it a snake. By calling it a snake, you still have not understood this is rope. And therefore, the ignorance of the rope is still there. But this ignorance itself is presenting in a different form. This is a snake. So, this is a snake. This experience is an experience experiencing ignorance itself. In this case, because these eyes, which are the means of generating knowledge, could not function properly, the ignorance could not get destroyed. And because the ignorance could not get destroyed, now there is, due to non apprehension, there is misapprehension. Puja Gurudev. Correct? So when the praman, the means which are supposed to generate knowledge, are not able to function properly, the ignorance does not get destroyed. Ignorance remains. Now let me ask you a question. Say suppose there is a person who does not have the means of knowledge. Will his ignorance get destroyed? No. So there are two cases where the ignorance does not get destroyed. The person who does not have the means of knowledge, and the person whose means of knowledge do not function properly, which means that the means of knowledge are obstructed by something, like this inadequacy of light obstructed the eyes from meeting the object. True or not? And therefore the knowledge could not take place. That what is not knowledge, an experience which is generated by faulty, defective means of knowledge, is an erroneous experience. And therefore, erroneous experience is not the experience of reality. So when can you say that something is, your experience is real? Only when your experience is generated by means which are not defective. Correct. Means which are not defective. Under these two. So now the experience that we are going to talk about, this world that I'm experiencing, this world is duality, is because either I do not have the praman, the means, or the means which I have are obstructed by something, are obstructed by something. And therefore, we are going to tell you now, that is, how do you know Brahman? The means to know Brahman is the Shabda Pramanam. Okay. I will just quickly cover this up, and this is a topic which needs a little extensive discussion, maybe some other place, but presently this is just a little bit. What is Brahman? So the Upanishad now, which is the means to show what is Brahman, tells you that this Atma is Brahman, and therefore Rupa Rasadikam Jagad Mayamayam. This world, the duality which is experienced, is only an appearance. What is it? Appearance. Experiencing the appearance, there is no problem. But understanding the appearance as real is the problem. Experiencing the rainbow is not a problem. But then thinking that you can catch the rainbow if you run to the terrace is a problem. The sun appears to gallop from east to west. The sky appears to be blue. This appearance is not a problem. Where does the problem begin? When the appearance is taken to be real. The earth appears flat. Is it flat? The earth appears to be flat. Earth appearing flat is not a problem, but you understanding it to be real, true, is the problem. We are not against the appearance. Let it appear. But just because something appears does not mean that it is real. The Dvaita, this duality, is experienced, it appears. Just because it appears, I am an experiencer and this world is what is experienced, this duality is seen, does not mean that it has to be real. Because the meaning of word I is no longer just an experiencer. The meaning of word I, the Upanishad says, is Brahman. Is Brahman. And Brahman is that in which there is no duality. Dual. And therefore, what is the status of this duality? It appears, but it is not real. That what is experienced but is not real is called as an appearance, dream like. And therefore, this Jagat, Rupa Rasadikam Jagan Mayamayam. This is the Nishchaya. This is the certainty with which now he looks at the world. You're looking at the cloth, but then when the knowledge is, it is nothing but cotton. Does it stop you from using it as a cloth to cover the shoulder? Will it stop you from using it as a cloth to cover the table? Will it stop you from using it to wipe the body or something? No. You can function the way you want, but now the knowledge is it is nothing but God. So also you can function in this world, but you know that this is all Brahman, not apart from us. This certainty of knowledge is called as Tattva Jnanam. Your experience, you have both the things, I and the world. Beyond these 2 points, what is the content of your experience? Do you have any other content of the experience apart from these two, I and the world? The experiencer and that what is experienced. No, there is God. Even if there is God, that God will be cast either into the category of that what is experienced or the very nature of the experiencer. What is God then? And therefore, all these theologians, all these religious teachers who are claiming God is as real as this world, they do not know what they are saying. They do not know what they are saying. There are only two things, aham and that what is not aham. You see, aham and anaham, atma, anatma. Where does Shri Krishna begin his discourse? Arjuna, there are only these two things to be known, Sat and Asat. Atma and Anatma. What else is there? Aham and Anaham. Got it? What is this Aham? That what is Satyam. What is the status of Anaham? Appearance in this Atma. So therefore, Arjuna, there is Satyam, and the other one is Mithya, Asat. The word Asat over there is used to mean Mithya, appearance. This is the experience of the sage. What is your experience at this moment? That I, the meaning of word I is, I am a small little person struggling to survive over here, trying to exist somehow through somebody's approval, through somebody's appreciation. Is not it? People have to approve. How can I wear a sari and go out? Indian outfit, how can I? Who has to approve you of what? You are trying to make yourself acceptable to others. Just demanding, please accept me. Otherwise, I will be lonely. Please accept. Somebody's approval. And that's, I am a small, little, insignificant jiva. What is the meaning of word I for you? I am a jiva, karta bhokta. Karta means the doer. Bhokta means the experiencer. that I am an experiencer, I am the doer. And by the very virtue that I am an experiencer, I want to experience peace, joy, etc., etc. And therefore, I do certain things outside so that maybe, I will become happy. This is what I am. And what is that? What is the anatma for you? This whole world, this big gamut of names and forms, time and space. It is so big that I can easily get crushed under it. Crushed under it. This is, and it is real. I am Jiva. This is my reality. The world is bound to crush me, forget me sometime, and that is the reality of the world. This is our experience. This is our nishchaya. What is the nishchaya of a sage? That this Atma is Brahman. And this whole world of all names and forms is only an appearance in this. Could you ever have water hit a small insignificant wave and be in awe of a big tsunami? Could you have anything like that? Will water have special attraction towards tsunami and total neglect towards indifference towards a small little wave? Water does not have any. For water, tsunami is me, and the small insignificant wave is also. I am everything. Like that, for a sage, whether it is a rich man or a poor man, young or old, man or a woman, human or celestial, animals or plants, everything is. And therefore, for him, his love is boundless for everyone. But all these names and forms are an appearance. There is total, absolute acceptance of everything, not selective. No matter how ugly a shape is, the clay never denies it. There is acceptance. No matter how ugly that ornament is, the gold does not deny it. Even if it is a sinner, Atma does not give up any. All in. Yet untouched by every name and form, unaffected by every name and form. No ugly ornament has ever touched the gold. No beautiful ornament has ever touched the gold. Gold remains untouched, unaffected by the ugliness and that, beauty of that ornament. I am immaculate, untouched, asanga. This is his experience. Now count your experience against his experience. Measure your experience against the experience of this sage. This is nishchaya. You also have certain nishchaya. But your nishchaya is the nishchaya of avidya. And his nishchaya is the nishchaya of jnanam, and therefore it is called as tattva jnanam. This is tattva jnanam. When your certainty is this, whatever it may be, this is what I have. This is then called as tattva jnana. So you have three things: tattva jnanam, vasanakshaya, and manonashaya. These are the three factors that are required what do you call it? Ingredients which are required for accomplishment of jivan mukti. You see, and therefore, if the Tattvajnanam is not there, Manonasha does not take place. And if the Manonasha is not taking place, the Tattvajnanam will also not take place. If the Tattvajnanam is not there, Vasanakshaya will also not take place. If Vasanakshaya is not taking place, Tattvajnanam will also not take place. And therefore, there is a great deal of interdependence of all the three on each other. Therefore, you cannot say that there is any choice. I will do only Tattvajnanam, I don't want this. Tattvajnanam will also not take place if you do not have Manonasha and Vasanakshaya taking place. It is required. It is required. And therefore, now, if you have understood, let us go further to page number 83 in this, what do you call it, print book, where we understand how to acquire these three sadhanas. Which sadhanas? Sadhana means, the meaning of the word sadhana is means. Tattvajnanam, etc., etc. How can that be acquired? Here he says, Tattvajnanadinam trayanam sampadane sadhanam ah. Now we are going to tell you how, by what method, by what way these three can be acquired. संपादने साधनम, इनको कैसे संपन्न किया जा सकता है, इसके लिए साधन बता रहे हैं. कौन बता रहे हैं? Who's saying that? So he says, not me. Again was Vasishtha Ramayana. But Bhagwan Rama is being instructed by Vasishtha Rishi. Asmad Raghavayatnena Paurushena Vivekina Bhogecham Durastyakva Trayametat Samashraye. Hey Raghava, O Ram, born in the lineage of Raghu. That's why Raghava. Hey Raghava, Yatnena Paurushena Vivekina. A person who is Viveki. Viveki means the one जिसमें विवेक विद्यमान है वह, जिसका नाम विवेक है वो नहीं, विवेकी. The one who is endowed with an intelligence which can discriminate. Now, this is not something racial discrimination or anything. Discrimination over here means when you segregate and understand what is real, what is not, what is good, what is not, what I should do, what I should not, is not this discrimination. So it is now, even for anything to be understood, if I say a red rose, you understand that it is a rose, which means it is not jasmine, it is not lotus, it is not, what do they call it, hibiscus, it is not magnolia, it is rose. Discrimination. When you are going to say red rose, it means it is rose, but it is not white rose, pink rose, yellow rose. It is correct. In understanding anything, discrimination is the only way. Otherwise, how will knowledge proceed? Knowing an object means itara vyavritti. Itara vyavritti. The other things are removed from them. Just that. When I'm going to say table, it means it is not sofa, it is not a stool, it is not a refrigerator, it is a table. Discrimination is there or not? Discrimination is there. So he who is endowed with sharp sense of discrimination is viveki. But what does he discriminate? Between what is real and what is not real. Between what is atma, what is anatma. He who is, now he who has also understood viveki means that the rest of the things, no matter how much money and how much pleasures and how much approval and how much power one may have, yet the person will not be satisfied, fulfilled. He who has truly understood the position, its use of all these things in the world, money has certain use or not? It has. It has a value that it can buy you a bread and satiate your hunger. True? But you are saying money has the value of security. Money has the value of power. Money has the value of happiness. Now, all these things, values which you have added to that, are false, erroneous. He who understands the value of these things and also understands what is the false value, he is a discriminating person. And therefore, Viveki, who is he? A Viveki. Vivekina. What should a Viveki do? While this thing, Vasishta says, the Viveki should do Raghava Yatnena Paurushena. By now, don't think that this is very chauvinistic. Chauvinistic. How do you say? Okay. Why is it not? The word he is going to use is through manly efforts. Paurushena yatnena means grind your teeth and get into it. Make efforts. Don't leave any stone unturned. भयंकर प्रयत्न करो. Don't give yourself any concession over there. भगवान की इच्छा होगी तब होगा स्वामी जी. We don't, have you not heard? When Bhagwan wants, it will happen, Swami ji. Basically, who gave you this idea that Bhagwan wants to keep you ignorant? That you are saying that knowledge will take place when Bhagwan wants. In different words, what have you already said? That if the knowledge is not taking place, Bhagwan does not want, which means Bhagwan wants you to stay. So, who gave you this idea that God wants you to stay foolish? I mean, don't you see that you think that this is a big surrender? But this is accusing God that he wants to keep you foolish so that he can keep on fooling you. मूर्ख रहो ताकि मैं तुमको और उल्लू बनाऊं. रहो नादान, रहो मूर्ख. ये is this what God is asking? Why are you abusing him, accusing him of this? Yatnena. Don't leave any stone unturned. Paurushena yatnena vivekina. Then bhogecham durastyakva, by giving up bhogecha. You know, this desire to up, ego appeasement and the sense gratification. Let not the senses be gratified and let not this ego be appeased. Chalo aage. I will see this. Who has decided that the only prayojan, the purpose of your life is gratification of the senses and appeasement of the ego? Who has decided this for you? That you are so committed to it. Right from the time that one is born to one dies, just these are the two things only. Either you are asking the ego to be appeased or the senses to be gratified. What else? Either you are asking the ego to be appeased or the senses to be gratified. What else? What else are we doing? Seriously, tell me. Even in the name of spirituality, this is what people are doing. He wants to give donation to the temple, but my name should be seen. I want to serve God is not the thing. My name in golden letters, it should be there. He is not happy just by saying that I got an opportunity to serve God in this way. No, put my name. Whether you put God in the temple or not, put my name, that slate on the wall. You see? What is that? Ultimately, ego. अरे अहंकार पुजवा रहे हैं, तुम बोलते हो भगवान की पूजा कर रहे हैं, क्यों झूठ कहते हैं? Just worshipping the ego, nothing else. And you are saying that you're worshipping God. Look at the audacity. इसकी ढिठाई तो देखो कितनी है. पूजवा रहा है अहंकार और बोल रहा है भगवान का पूजन कर रहे हैं। क्यों? You see? तस्मात् हे राघव भोगेच्छाम दुरस्त्यक्त्वा, भोगेच्छा मतलब just these two things, दूरतः त्यक्त्वा, give it up from very far away, and then after त्रयमेतत् समाश्रये, let these three be your true purposes of life. Till then, whatever you are doing is only just this much. Or at the most, the person is trying to survive. ही इतना ही तो कर रहा है, और कर क्या रहा है? दरिद्र कहीं कर क्या रहा है? Therefore, now look at this. Now, if you have, therefore now look at this. Now, if you have looked at the shloka, the original verse, तस्माद् राघवयत्नेन पौरुषेण विवेकिना भोगेच्छां दुरस्त्यक्त्वा त्रयमेतत् समाश्रये। लेकिन लोग क्या कहेंगे? जैसे आप तुमको वो बहुत अच्छा कहते हैं, you know what will people say? Do you have any? You think that people talk very good about us behind our back? Do you do that about anyone? Just behind our back? Do you do that about anyone? Why should anybody else do that about you? क्या पचकाना खेल है? क्या पचकाना खेल है? So now, understand this. तस्माद् राघवयत्नेन पौरुषेण विवेकिना भोगेच्छां दूरतस्त्यक्त्वा त्रयमेतत् समाश्रये. Now the words we will understand in the little commentary provided by Vidyaranya for this verse. Pavrusho yatnaha. The words used in the original text are paurushena yatnena. So tritiya vibhakti kya ho jayegi? What will be the instrumental case? Paurushena yatnena. So what is the pratipadikam? Paurusho yatnaha. केनापि उपायेन अवश्यं सम्पादयिष्यामि इति एवं विधोत्साहरूपो निर्बन्धः. What is this paurushayatna? What do you mean by manly efforts? What do you mean by manly efforts? Manly effort means that I should be like, the typical man type of thing. He says, what is that? He says, what is that? Kenapi upayena. No matter what it is going to take. Kenapi upayena. Avashyam sampadayishyami. I shall definitely accomplish it. No matter what. But it may take you 10 more lives. I don't care. I don't care. And this Paurusha Yatna, very interestingly, you know, where was it seen really? In life of Parvati. Everybody discouraged her. No, Shiva is not going to Give it up. Including the Saptarshis came themselves. Including the Saptarshis came themselves. They said, Devi, give it up. Is not it? All these devas also came and said, please give it up. It is not going to happen. She says, I will make it happen. Not in this life. She says, even if it takes me 100 lives, I will do it. I don't care. This is what. So this Paurusha Yatna, and when Bhagavan Shiva appears before her, he sees that the kind of tapasya that Parvati has done. He says that, what can I give you? I am your slave. Krita Das. Krita Das. Like a slave that is purchased, I am your slave. Tell me, you give me Adesh. Paurushayana Yatnena, and that's why this Paurusha Yatna was seen in a woman. So therefore, Sampadayishyami evam vidha utsaha, this enthusiasm. His enthusiasm, his interest cannot be killed, cannot be dampened by any amount of obstacles. He can never be discouraged from this path ever by anything. Some of the people, remarkable people that I have met, was one lady of my friend's grandmother. You know, she was old, and her guru had given her the naam and told her to do Manas Puja. You understand what is Manas Puja? Worship, some form of worship that one must do, but only through mental worship. That was the sadhana given by her guru. Now, my friend's father passed away very young. So this woman, old lady who was staying there, had to see her daughter become widow. When this, you know, people are still, her son and the daughter is still young, and her own daughter, the grandchildren are so small, and the daughter is young, and she has to see this is what has happened. So, for any person, this is quite shattering. This is all happening. The dead body is kept over there. And so I sit with the family. This old lady is also sitting next to me. And, though I'm consoling and sitting holding their hands, she asked me one question. She said, Swamiji, because in Hinduism, if there is any death, etc., it is called as ashaucham. Then you don't touch the deities till for 10 days. You know this. So she asked me, will I be able to do Manas Puja tomorrow or not? Come on. no event, no nothing comes in the way of that sadhana. Kenapi prayatnena sampadayishyami. I shall accomplish. Evam vidho nirbandha. This is the resolution. In Tattvajnanam, you don't require resolution. Tattvajnanam, you require clarity. That clarity becomes your certainty. Over here, you require resolution. In knowledge, I will believe that fanaticism is not required for knowledge. Knowledge, you cannot protect knowledge by fanaticism. Knowledge protects itself, is capable of protecting itself by falsifying everything else, provided you have the clarity. So over there, in knowledge, the firmness is in form of clarity, whereas the firmness over here is the firmness of resolution. Iti nirbandhaha. Then vivekaha. Viveko nama vibhajya nishchayaha. What is viveka? Because this is a person who is endowed with viveka. Vibhajya. By segregating, there is nishchaya. Certainty. What is it? Tattvajnanasya. Trayam etat samashrayet. Now all the three should be accepted in life, or all these three should be well rooted in one's life. What is it? Tattvajnanasya shravanadikam sadhanam. What is the sadhanam for Tattvajnanam? Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasanam. Adikam, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanam is the sadhanam. Tattvajnanasya Shravanadikam sadhanam Manonashasya yogaha. Now, practice of meditation is the sadhanam for manonasha. Vasanakshayasya. And how will the vasanakshaya take place? Pratikula vasanotpadanam iti. By creating the opposite set of vasana, which will douse, which will make the earlier habitual vasanas ineffective. Got it? What is the sadhanam for Tattvajnanam? Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. What is the sadhanam for Manonasha? Meditation, Samadhi Abhyasa. What is the sadhanam for Vasanakshaya? Correct. And all these three together is are the sadhana for jivan mukti. Now, have you understood the sequence in which what is the sadhanam, what is the sadhyam? When you are going to say, hey, we practice spirituality, what do you mean by that? Somebody becomes a vegetarian only on Wednesday. You say, oh, very spiritual, very spiritual. Spiritual. What is this spirituality? He don't know. He does not eat no non-vegetarian food on Wednesday. Bapre. He keeps it to eat on next day. Brings it and keeps it. It's the lot of that day and also on the previous day on the next day. कल नहीं खाया था ना, आज डबल खाते हैं. Tatvajna, this is the sadhana. Bhoge chhayaha Swalpayaha api abhyupagame, and even if there is any bhogecha. Now you understand the word bhogecha, appeasement of senses, appeasement of ego. This is called bhogecha. Even if he suspects any bhogecha rising inside, he immediately cuts it down. So, why? Havisha Krishna Vartmeva Bhuya Eva Bhivardhate. Just as the Krishna Vartma Agni, just as the fire grows into a conflagration when the fuel is added, and the fire does not get doused when the fuel is added. Like that, add any fuel, the bhogecha will only increase. But what are we saying? Itna mil jaye na fir nahi mangenge. Give me only this much, I will not ask for more. एक बार उस एक बार का 101 बार कब हो जाता है पता नहीं चलता. Bhogecha iti uktam. So this is what is called as that. Now we are going to step into a not a different topic, but a topic which comes from here, wherein there is the Purva Paksha and Siddhanti Paksha. So there is a question. It will begin with a question. It will begin with a question. What is that? Let us see when we meet tomorrow morning. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Thank you all. Thank you very much.